Hello, welcome. My name is Manex Ibar, and I am a spiritual guide for the world. And I am here, you are here. We are listening to my voice talking to you about spiritual matters. And I've been a spiritual guide for the last 20 years, and it kind of fell upon me to guide these people. And I've, climbed the ladder of clientele to a pretty privileged group of people that I get to help in understanding high spiritual concepts. And so I wanted to talk today about the authentic spiritual path because I feel that there is such an incredible awakening that's happening on the planet to a certain degree. And a lot of people are wanting to be immediately masters of the spiritual realm by having an awakened experience. You know, it feels like you are ready to be a teacher, ready to be a spiritual person, when actually you're just at the beginning. And therefore, how do we understand and know where our path is? How do we go deeper into our spiritual path? And then how do we help ourselves manifest that authentic spiritual path as a service to the world, which is really what spirituality is about. It's bringing the beautiful qualities of humanity, from gratitude to service, benevolence, and love. And the love of service is really one of the biggest things, is to serve the other. There's a certain aspect of serving the other into helping them transcend their suffering, transcend their pain, and help them through to gaining access to their joy, to their life's purpose, to their beauty, their gift. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the pitfalls of modern spiritual paths. I mean, there's kind of this whole thing about the one spiritual meets all, when actually we're really moving into an individualistic world. And there's a reason for that in terms of understanding that unity consciousness, the godly consciousness, what all indigenous people say, we're all connected to one source consciousness, and we are. But how do you then individualize your own personalized experience? And this is exactly where you enter into the authentic spiritual path, which is unique for each of us. And in a way, we are individuals, unique individuals with a unique lens to look at and perceive the world through that lens and offer that lens to the world, to others, so that we can see another perspective of unity consciousness. And so this is really important. How do you really enter into that authentic state of being? And it takes time. Understanding spirit and consciousness takes time. It takes deliberate action, deliberate thought, deliberate responsibility of entering into this state of consciousness, which allows for your unique individual lens to be understood so that you can then share it with others. And it just really takes time. And I think in our world where so much of the instant gratification is desired and we are impatient with everything, spirituality challenges us to come back to that human essence of patience, and that all beautiful things come with patience. In a way, that fast food mentality, that fast thinking mentality, that fast consumption so that you can consume more and consume the other, oftentimes means that there is no integration. And without integration, you really haven't learned anything. So having experiences is wonderful, but if you can't extract the meaning, extract the sense, extract the essence of that experience into something that is cohesive, that is graceful, that is thoughtful, mindful, conscious, and heartfelt, so that you can really package that into a gift for the other. You haven't really processed or integrated the experience to be worthwhile, actually, for humanity, perhaps for yourself, as just a pure egotistical joy, and perhaps a spiritual awakening. I mean, getting hit by lightning, for example, which has happened to me twice, I still have a hard time explaining exactly what happened. It's very difficult. There's so much information that happened in a second. It's unfathomable. It doesn't make sense to the mind or to words. And this was back in 2011, so 9 years ago. And, I haven't really spoken too much about it publicly because I'm still integrating the real understanding of it. And just now I'm starting to picture or visualize and envision a certain teaching around what happened during that time. So how do you demystify this kind of one spirituality fits all, so that you can really understand your own spiritual path, your own spiritual gifts, your own unique perspective? And in a sense, it's about cultivating self-awareness, right? What does that mean? How do you cultivate self-awareness? How do you cultivate understanding your unique perspective, your unique lens, so that your own unique gift can be offered to the world? And again, it takes time, and it also takes tools and guidance from people who have gone through this path for many years before you and have kind of been around the block, right? And so they can give you tricks, they can give you perspectives, they can give you experience, and they can give you the analysis and the integration of those experiences of when they went through certain similar things, and even help you understand what's coming after that experience, which obviously you don't know. I love the fact that there's this incredible aspect of you have no idea. You don't know what you don't know. And that's just this incredible thing. And the more you have an experience, the more you realize how much you don't know, because you just realized something that you didn't know that is now conscious, and therefore you know it. And before it becomes systematically ingrained as knowledge and wisdom within you, it does take repetition. It does take time to integrate that information, and it does take time to then be able to communicate it clearly to another. Now, obviously, there's unique characters in this world that can do this faster than others, but in general, it's a good idea to take time. The definition of a master or mastering something is, I think, 3 hours a day for 10 years. That was from a book of elevated masters from the Far East. And I thought that was a good explanation. If you do something for 3 hours a day already for a week, you're going to get pretty good at it to a certain degree, or at least you're going to understand much more of what you're dealing with than just kind of picking up something for a day and just hacking around with it. And mastery does take effort, time, practice, routine, discipline, all these words that we really don't want to deal with because they're challenging. This is exactly what brings your will into action and use, proper use, your ego, willpower, so that you actually can do those actions, use discipline to master something. And the initiation might be a blast. It might be a 30-second hit. It might be a car accident, a lightning strike. It could be a 4-hour, ayahuasca ceremony that rips open the realms of another perspective, opens up your own consciousness so that you start seeing things that you had no idea you didn't know existed. And then there's the routine, there's the discipline, there's the work of actually going deeper into that opening, that initiation, and really going and mastering that information before you can claim it as your own, meaning with your own perspective rather than your teachers or rather with everything that everybody else is saying. And in that, you offer something of value. And I think, unfortunately, today, we have a lot of what I call parakeets, which is basically parrots, and they talk a lot about exactly what's been said. I mean, for example, 7 chakras. We talk about chakras. I would say that 95% of people who talk about chakras have never seen one and have never really experienced the full awakening or closure of a chakra. And unfortunately, even some of the writers that are published obviously haven't, because some of the things they say makes no sense to somebody who has seen it, who does see this. So in that, I hope there is science one day that evolves to measure the subtle bodies, measure the energy centers within, and we can get to a measuring so that there is a standardization of understanding how the energetic body really works without having to rely on unique individuals that have perhaps a gift or that are telling you that they see. Now, obviously, how do you cultivate that for yourself? It's really that practice, as I said, and you can open up. I mean, all human beings can open up their senses. Now, there's also a lot of systems, there's a lot of schools, there's a lot of lineages, there's a lot of different spiritual perspectives available out there, from the different religions to the different New Age aspects of spirituality to also the different teachers that have found their own unique path and are able to write and communicate it and teach it to others. Again, thanks for listening. My name is Manex Ibar. You can find out more information at manexibar.com. It's MANEXIBAR.com. And check out the different courses and the immersions that are on this platform. And enjoy wherever you are, whatever time it is. Find your presence and love yourself with blessing.